All right, back for video three in this Tennessee Titans 2026 NFL Draft player analysis, player evaluation, right? So I've already done two videos. Go check those out. This video is going to be about pick 60 linebacker Anthony Hill Jr. But first, let's get started. Who am I? Charles Barnes at BU_scouting on most social media platforms. Background coached basketball, football, been in recruiting offices at colleges, keep accountability for over a decade of my draft selections and suggestions for the Tennessee Titans in general, or just all things football related. Um, Also keep track of all the free agency signings. I've done pretty well for myself in terms of accountability and just progressing and getting better at the process. And that's kind of why I do it, for accountability and to approve, take notes, and things like that. I'm also do another series of who I would select, but right now we're on the Tennessee Titans. And without further ado, let's get to the selection. So, Anthony Hill Jr., who, I'm not going to talk about my ranking until I get to the concerns aspect, and I guess that alludes to it. But the player, what I see is a guy that has SEC level of competition, stepped up to the plate, rangy, ideal size for a linebacker. Um, and then he's young, right? He's impressionable. He's imprintable. You can still mold him into whatever you want with the correct coaching and things like that. But really like his ability to cover. He's super fluid. He's not a stiff athlete. And really, the best things about Anthony Hill, if you haven't noticed, for me personally, is just the athletic profile. It's like he's a he's a ball of clay, and whatever linebacker coach gets him, we know it's going to be the Tennessee Titans linebacker coach. He's going to mold him to what they want him to be in that Robert Saleh defense. My concerns were the draft capital used to select or to move up for him. Just for me personally, in the way that I was gonna work and remove and maneuver around the board. Excuse me. I think that 142 and 144 could have been packaged together to move a little bit higher in the fourth round there, or to move into the fourth round and move higher to get a player that I coveted. But for the Titans in general, they needed to get, somebody for the future at the linebacker position. And, unlike the Keldrick Falk move up, where I felt like this was a player with a unique skill set that you weren't going to find later in the draft, it would be very difficult to find it at that high octane. I feel like with the Anthony Hill Jr. selection, the move up was they obviously liked the player, the person, right? And I think they may have looked at his skill set and the way that Anthony Hill goes about Junior goes about things, they might have valued it way more than what I would have valued it at. And the reason why I say that is because you look at the opportunity cost of doing that, and you look at the linebackers that you could have had. I don't think there's that far of a drop off between Anthony Hill Jr. and a Kendall Daniels or a Caleb Elarms or I don't think that's that significant of a drop off between those type of players, but yet the Tennessee Titans went ahead and got their guy. So I understand it. You got to respect the conviction. But like I said, I think that the payoff for that investment won't happen as soon as I think a lot of people think it may happen, right? And that leads me to what I said about where I had him ranked. Um, I had Anthony Hill Jr. ranked like at my linebacker, initially linebacker 10, 10 or 11. And then upon second watch, he got as high as linebacker 6 or 7. And then he ended up settling at linebacker 9. And this is obviously other guys that I think can convert to the position. So there's like, I think two guys like uh, R. Mason Thomas and who else? Kendall Daniels, the convert. These guys that I think could convert and play linebacker as well. But like Jay Sean Barham, for example, another guy that I think that when you look at skill set for skill set, athleticism for athleticism, scheme versatility for scheme versatility, there was three guys that is comparable as opposed to Keldrick Falk, who's going to be your edge that can kick inside, that can have interior pass rush. Not many. So that trade up was, you kind of understood it, right? Even Carnell Tate, right? A deep wide receiver class, but you got that receiver that is multi positional, right? But this one here is one that you're banking on something that is not tangible, apparently, because there's other guys that were there. There's comparable skill sets. There's even better players in terms of physicality, right? Or their body is already or closer to maturation than even Anthony Hill. I mean, it just really looks like a moldable clay type of player. Hey, we got this guy young and we're going to see where it goes. And if that's the case, hey, I salute it, man. Where can coaching and an NFL weight program, what can they do with Anthony Hill Jr.? And based off of that, I'm for it, man. I'm for it. What can the NFL weight room, NFL coaching do with that frame, with that, skill set? But as opposed to like just talking about right now and in the foreseeable future, even play temperament, you know, is it better than Kendall Daniels? Is it better than Caleb Elam? Or is it better than Jay Sean Barham, who also offers edge rushing, pass rush ability on the edge? So that's where I'm kind of at with that pick. There's a high likelihood that it probably will work out just based off of who the coaches are. But for me, that was the one that's like, okay, he's on the, a lot of people, he was their linebacker, two, linebacker three. So for them, they're like, oh, this is a steal. So for when it pans out, they'll be like, oh, this was, easy. But for me, there are concerns, right? And when it takes a little longer than what people want, remember this video. That's it. And if it happens faster, also remember this video. We can talk about it. So let's go to their fourth pick next. Stay tuned, and let's get this thing going.